All right, man. Welcome back, everybody. Appreciate everybody for jumping on another episode LGR Live, man. Talking Monday Night Hoops. It's been a while for sure. With it being 1 month away, man, we wanted to go ahead and jump on here. Coach Kendrick of the North is going to be reaching out, jumping on with us a little bit later. But we wanted to go ahead and get started. If you can, guys, go ahead and. So it looks like the connection's good. Cool. That's definitely good. I was kind of worried about that. Click that like button, share. Give us a like on YouTube as well as Facebook. So if you got somebody that doesn't have Facebook, we're live as well on YouTube.com/LGR basketball. Yes, definitely want to give a shout out to all those everyone in South Louisiana. Weather is definitely coming through, so please be safe. I know a lot of schools and games and stuff were canceled throughout that. So we got Coach Kendrick just jumped on. Let me go ahead and get him in the picture. Coach Kendrick, man, how you doing, man? We're just getting started, man. Appreciate you for jumping on, man. Like we were just kind of saying, man, we want to give some prayers and thoughts and prayers to everyone in the South with the bad weather coming through. Had a little band come through earlier. We'll have another band come through tonight, so hopefully everyone's safe. But with the North Louisiana, Coach, how's things going on up there, man?
Man, we got some weather up here as well. Just got done with a game, so I apologize for my tardiness. But yeah, we back, man. We live, right?
Yes, sir.
It's been a minute. So it's good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Absolutely, bro. So, like I had the comment on there before, man, especially with this being the first one, this is an interactive platform. If you guys are new to this, please comment below. Let us know who you're rooting for. And as well, I mean, a lot of the smaller schools do a great job. Mr. Dusty there with, just kind of keeping us informed, keeping us in the loop of what's going on there. This is interactive. If you feel your school is getting slighted or you think we need to take a look at them and start talking about them, some matchups that you think that may be good to kind of keep an eye on down the line. Please comment those, But like we always say, try to keep everything positive. We're not trying to put down somebody to boost yourself up, So it's all about girls basketball here. We go an inch wide, a mile deep, all things girls basketball. But nonetheless, man, let's go ahead and get started. We don't have the rankings as far as our top rankings. We're going to go straight to Go Preps. Shout out to the people over there at Go Preps. They do a great job, with the instant feedback. It gets updated, I believe, every 4 hours. So we'll start out with girls basketball, non-select Division One. Coach Kendrick's going to sit this one out, rightfully so, with joining Parkway this year. Don't want to get them caught up into too much bulletin board material, so we'll let them sit this one out. But some teams that I've seen play live, Walker, Denham. You see them two at the top. Two teams that I think is going to be having the opportunity to fight for a state championship. In my opinion, I think Walker is the team to kind of beat this year, just with their style of play, the depth that they have. They have so much depth. They're up and down. You can plug and play. Someone gets in foul trouble. It's not a real big problem, Young lady rolls an ankle. It's just next man up. So the program that Corey Arnold and the Walker Lady Cats have built, you kind of see them year in, year out, and that style of play continues to have a lot of success for them. They're 23-0, undefeated, arguably the top team in the state. We'll go ahead and drop a big nugget right now before we get too into it. A week from today, we'll have at Walker High School our MLK main event, and we'll actually have Walker taking on Huntington. So Division One number one versus Division Two. Division One non-select number one versus Division One select number one. So number one versus number one. With our MLK main event, we're trying to give people opportunities to play a playoff caliber game. So Huntington's going to jump on that opportunity, challenge themselves, and it's going to be a good game for sure. Moving down the list, got Denham. They're definitely, kind of, in the same district as Walker, kind of, doing a lot of the same things that Walker does, and rightfully so. Walker's had a lot of success, and Denham's kind of following in their footsteps, mirroring exactly what they're doing. They're starting to get a little older now, upperclassmen, senior heavy. Denham's going to be a team that's going to be fighting for that top 28, trying to get them back into the top 28. It's been a couple years, but they're a team that has fought for that top 28 bid before. New team in the mix, Southside this year. Haven't seen them live, but they're a team that's really good. I think we talked about this a little bit before. They're versatile, right? They got the big, they got the wing, they got the guards. They've got a little bit of everything. They've got seniors, they've got freshmen. They've got a very, very rounded team. Southside, like we said here, is definitely someone just commented. Southside's got all the pieces. Definitely do not sleep on Southside. Southside's going to be a team that no one's going to like to see in the playoffs because they're going to match up well with everybody. No matter who they draw, who they get, they're going to be a squad that's going to match up. Before I get too deep, let's go ahead and jump into some of the comments. Again, guys, this is interactive, man. Appreciate everyone for joining. We're talking Division I first. We'll kind of go down the line. Walker versus Fairview was a track meet. I can only imagine. I bet that was a great game, man, for sure. Rose Pine's definitely playing really well. We'll jump into them a little bit later. Arguably one of the top teams in the state, bringing back everyone for their state championship team last year. I absolutely love their point guard, man. Point guard is Kelly Norris over at Rose Pine is so underrated. College coach should definitely take a look at her. Let's see. Who else we got? So we're back to Southside. Yep, looks like we're all caught up. Halton, man, you want to talk a little bit about Halton? I know that's in your district. I haven't had the opportunity to see them 20-3. Then a day, man, you want to win games, and being 20-3 is a great spot to be. You see them at 4th place.
Yeah, man, Holmes legit. I tell everybody around here, Holmes playing good basketball. They're kind of like Southside. They got the bigs, they got the guards. They're long, athletic. I think they're sophomores. I think she has some seniors, but I think for the most part, her talent is in the sophomore class, and Coach Jenna, she's building for the long haul, and she's gonna sustain, gonna be a heavy player in District 1-5A for the next couple years.
Love it, man. It's cool to see them grind and being in the best district, arguably over the last 3 years across the state. To see them continue to build and now not only be one of the top teams in that district, one of the top teams in the state. Shout out to Halton and where you kind of see them at now in the standings. I haven't seen Neville. Don't know a lot about them this year. Mandeville, I have seen Mandeville and Zachary this past week. Saw them live again. Mandeville is really balanced. They got the two sisters that are playing extremely well. Alana and Hannah, both of them can really shoot the ball, play really well together. I think Mandeville is going to be another one that's a tough out. They got the Barry kid. They're really rounded. I think this is their year. I think their year is here. I think this is their year that they got to kind of go all in on trying to get to that top 28. And I think they're playing well at the time. They won the Sugar Bowl, All-State Sugar Bowl Gold Division. Played extremely well. Beat a really good A-Meet team. So I think they're starting to knock down some wins. And whenever you're looking at this power rankings, the points are so close, so jammed up there, right? So Mandeville's going to be a team to kind of keep an eye on. Zachary as well. They were in that gold division. Zachary's got some pieces, but what's crazy about Zachary is they literally, I believe they only lose one senior. Yeah, I think they only lose one senior. It's not one of their main three. So they're going to bring back everybody. Zachary lost to Ponchatoula last year in the quarterfinals. That was a great game. We were there live for that one. Could see another matchup similar to that. I think Zachary's going to be able to knock down the door this year, punch a ticket to the top 28. Slidell's playing really well, man. Shout out to Slidell. Coach over there does a great job. They came to our event to start the season off. Thought they were in really good shape, rocking and rolling, and you kind of see it here. 14-1. Not as strong of a schedule as everyone else, and that's kind of where the power rankings come into everything. But again, they got off to a hot start. They're rocking and rolling 14-1. It's going to be a person I want to keep an eye on down the last stretch. And as you kind of get down the list here, you got you guys with Parkway, Natchitoches Central, 9-10. Ruston's good. Live Oak's playing well. Fountain Blue has beat Chalmette. They're playing well. Ponchatoula and Hineville. So that's even Sandoval. I can even go all the way down to Sandoval. You got Barb down there. Chalmette, Benton, a lot of big-time names where a lot of this moving and shaking can kind of go. You want to put anything in on that, or I think my thing that I'm interested to see on this Division One is how close it is between the 4 seed, which is 40.87, all the way down to the 12 seed, is about 2 points away, right? And then for those that don't know, you get a point for winning district. So if you win district, and then you can easily go up or down a point. I think we're going to see a lot of movement between that fourth all the way down to 12th or even 15th. You want to? I don't want to throw you to the wolves. You want to add anything?
Nah, man, it's gonna be some good basketball, and it's gonna be good to see how it shakes out, man. Everybody's playing well. It's starting to get their footing. And everybody stay healthy, man. It's gonna be some good basketball in February and March.
Love it, man. And this is going to be a good game right here. Walker versus Hicks, January 20th, going to be a huge game. Yeah, Hicks is rocking and rolling, man. Only one loss. That is, I'll be honest, that is a surprise to me. I do think they have all the pieces, but to be switching from coach to coach is not easy, especially in the division that they're in. They've got some big wins.
I,
Taking.
I,
Go
I
ahead.
do want to throw something in. I know you were talking about Walker, and I'll leave that for you to discuss. But as I say, Walker seems to be the team to beat there. Just their matchup styles, man. What a game would that be if we saw? Because I know you said Walker might be arguably the number one, but got to go down to Division 3, right? LCA sitting there undefeated, correct?
Woo!
That those two monsters right there, Coach Earl and Coach Corey Arnold. Man, if we could get those two things together, you got a spot in your MLK thing?
Okay, we might be putting it out in the air. We might have to get. We already got number one versus number one. We might have to get number one versus number one. I do
Yeah, number one. I think Walker got the best of them a couple years ago. It would be fun to see that matchup. Jada Richard has been hot, and I know we'll get into her a little later.
absolutely, man. That would definitely be a fun game for sure. Walker and LCA, in my opinion, is your top two teams in the state, kind of regardless of classification. So I mean, whenever you kind of get all that talent on the court, I think we kind of saw that this weekend at the Sugar Bowl. Um, Everyone's a winner, right? So Amy versus Mandeville was a shootout, dude. I'm telling you, that was a fantastic game. I looked up and there was like 7 threes in the first quarter. Um,
Yeah.
Combined between two teams, it was either layups or threes, sprinkling a couple free throws. But I mean, both those two teams are going to be primed and ready to rock and roll in their own division. I think that's, to your point, I think that's kind of rightfully where you want to be at this point in your season prior to really getting deep in the district. You want to kind of challenge yourself one more time. I would like to see that as well. Anything I can do to make that happen, man, and be there to live stream that in the comment, man. You guys let me know. I'm in there. Walker versus LCA for the state champion overall crown, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. There you
about
go.
that.
There you go.
I'm about that. But let's go ahead and jump into Division 1 select. You go ahead and lead us off with this one. Up top, we got Huntington. They're currently ranked number one. You guys have played them twice already, I think. What you got on Huntington and kind of Division 1 in general on the select side?
Man, Huntington is rightfully the team to beat in this division. That's not to sleep on Liberty. That's not to sleep on John Curtis, because both of those are good ball clubs. But Huntington in any night, man, has four solid D1 prospects on the floor at one time. And Coach Shine has them. The thing I like about Huntington is they may start slow, but man, when they lock in and that defense starts going, they are, and they get on a run, they are not giving that run back. So if you got to pounce on them early and stay on them, because if they lock in and Carly Hamilton starts doing what Carly Hamilton starts doing, and Kendall Graham starts doing what Kendall Graham starts doing, and hey, let's not forget you got Shy Bell and Jayla Marshall at any point. So you try to take one away, it's like pick your poison. Overall, man, they are the most talented team, I think, in the state of Louisiana, hands down. And with those four prospects, and they're only juniors. So, man, so Huntington's rightfully so at the top of that division. But not, like as I said, don't sleep on Liberty. Don't sleep on John Curtis.
Absolutely, man. And people were commenting about the Wasserman versus LCA game. Man, that was, in my opinion, the best game I've seen all year. Fantastic game.
Hmm.
Wasserman, Wasserman is Wasserman. Coach Otis does a great job over there, challenging his program over the years. They went to where they were fighting for a state championship, and then now it's over the last 2 years they won back to back. It's like anybody, anywhere, anytime, you name it, well, let's play it. And Coach Otis doesn't get enough respect over there, in my opinion. But he
Correct.
had
Correct.
Wasserman rocking and rolling all weekend. Wasserman was up by 20 or 18 at one point late in or midway through the third, and Jada Richard just kind of took over, man. And it was fun to see. With the bias of the referees, whatever you want to say, man, but I just like to see greatness at the end of the day, man. And it was a great game between both teams. Jada Richard individual performance with 47, but the performance by Wasserman collectively, that team is rolling with Wilson, Ross, and Burton, Augerson. And they've got some role kids that have come in and played in whether it's defense or knocking down threes, man. It's just a testament to Coach Otis and what he's done over the years of challenging this team. Ready, right? So they're in those games and they're just expecting to win those games every single time they come out and play. But I think we do have to take a step back at times and just enjoy these games, man. Because I mean, at the end of the day, man, that was a great game. We don't get very many opportunities to see. Like we talk about Walker and LCA playing, it's cool. We don't get very many opportunities to see the best of the best play each other. So when we do, man, we just got to enjoy it and the greatness, I guess that it was. But with John Curtis, I did see them this weekend. They played extremely well. They ended up losing to LCA, coming up just a little bit short in overtime. Another great game. I think John Curtis has made a big jump from where they were in the Lake Charles event. I will give them that. I feel like they're going to continue to grow. They're another team that only has one senior, and she's not really in that top 4 or 5 rotation, so they're going to bring everybody back as they continue to gel, get everything rolling. I do want to give a shout out to Kiki, man. Kiki is one of those kids that gets underrated. She was defending, and whenever she was on Jada, it was tough, man. It was tough. Everything was physical, quick. They did set a ton of ball screens, and Jada was able to get open and get off for a lot. 30-something points. But whenever it was one-on-one, Kiki, in my opinion, has done the best job of anyone in the state one-on-one against Jada Richard. So I do want to give her a shout out. I don't think she gets enough credit for what she brings to that team. Um, looking at
Yeah, man. Curtis always finds a way to be Curtis, man, and they're gonna always be in it. They've kind of ran the division one, the select side of that division for a while. I know Huntington's there now, but Curtis is gonna be Curtis. We say that year after year. Curtis is gonna find a way to be Curtis, and you got to give her respect for Coach for how she's kept that program rolling, taking over. And she was in the state title game last year. She's got a good chance to be there this year.
Absolutely, man. And I went ahead and posted the MLK main event schedule. We'll go ahead and release that later, but give you guys a little insight to that. Like we talked about, we're trying to get, the playoff caliber game. We're a month away from playoffs. So we're trying to give everyone a playoff caliber game right here before the district really kicks up. And you can't really play another game after that, in my opinion, outside of district. It just kind of gets a little tough. But starting off, we have Amy versus Santa Maria. Again, two of the top teams. North Shore versus Ash. That's going to be two teams that are going to be fighting in respectively in their divisions. Walker versus Huntington. We talked about that. Number 1 versus number 1. Tioga, who is also in Division 7. I love Tioga. I love their build. They've got the bigs, the wings, some guards, just athletes that play multiple sports, softball and everything. They're just coming over and playing basketball. And I'm really excited to see them and see how they can play against Northside. Northside, someone that talked about them earlier. Again, I think that's going to be a good game. It's going to be a fun one. That's what we're trying to do, challenge each other. Midland versus Scotlandville, two teams, both in respectively in the top end of their division. Bruley Salmon, same thing. Then we'll cap it off with a Zachary versus Ponchatoula, which is a remake of the Division One quarterfinals of last year. Great schedule, man. Like we talked about, this point, you're just trying to iron sharpens iron. What we saw at the Sugar Bowl is what we're trying to recreate in that one game setting. But moving down with the Division One, Chappelle, I mean, I like what Coach Mikey has done over there throughout the years. Again, he's been in a tough division, in the same division as Mount Carmel and John Curtis and all those guys. So, excels really well against man to man. Plays, executes their plays. They've got the bigs, losing their guard from last year, more playing more of a team. Division One. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they aren't able to make a shot at the quarterfinals or the top 28. Karen Crow is really good. Saint Scholastica. It's two teams that have college prospects. Really, all three of those teams have college prospects that are unsigned or juniors that will be getting opportunities. So it's going to be fun to kind of see these teams come down the line. We talked about Tioga already. Woodlawn, Baton Rouge, in my opinion, has one of the best guards in the state with Amaja Price. She can go out and win you a basketball game at any day, any time. So that's going to be a tough bout. If I'm one of the top 4 seeds, that is not who I want to see in my quarterfinal game. I don't care who you are. You don't want to see Amaja Price and Woodlawn and Baton Rouge coming to your place for a quarterfinal game.
Yeah, Price is the real deal, and that's legit. And I know you're on Woodlawn, Baton Rouge, but let's talk about that number 9 right there.
Yes, sir.
Number 9,
Southwood, baby.
are they for real? Can they make? I mean, just think about their story last year, and the struggles they had last year. Coach Marcus Johnson, man, comes in, takes over the job, and I've told everybody up north he's got to be in the discussion for Coach of the Year. The job that he's done to turn that program around, how they struggled last year to now top 10, played some bad wins, I'll say, in his schedule, but for the majority of the year, it's been right at knocking on the door of top 5 of Division One. And who would have thought that with that squad? Shouts out to him for getting those girls rallied. Playing with some girls is just going to play hard every night. And hey, think about it. They're in a tough district, the District 1-5A. So their PowerPoints is going to balance them out. And don't be surprised. And, talking to him the other day, if he could get the right draw,
Yeah, for sure.
look out, South. If he could get the right draw, kind of avoid Huntington there into the finals, he could be looking at a good draw. So this is going to shake out. You got South Scotlandville. They're sitting at 11. St. Thomas More, Scostrone, he's going to do a good job with them. Edna Carr got a good freshman, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So they're going to be legit. All these teams going to be legit. So it's going to shake out well here in Division One Select, bro.
Yeah, I think Division One select and non-select both are just like little top heavy, and then everyone else is just like really can shake up back and forth. So I think this is a good time for us to come on and kind of talk about everyone, especially Division One, both select and non-select. It's got a little bit more depth than normal. I'm looking down the line. You got Scotlandville is better than where they're at. Carr is better than where they're at. St. Thomas More is better than where they're at. Like all 3 of those teams are going to be well coached. Like that's going to be tough outs. You're talking first round, second round on the road. That is not who you want to play. Northwood
Correct.
Shreveport. That's where Mouton's at. Am I correct?
Say it again.
Where's Hannah Mouton at?
Yeah, Mouton transferred into Northwood Shreveport, man. She's been really rocking and roll. Her recruiting has picked up lately. Coaches get in on that kid. She's legit. She hasn't fell off. I know she was injured last year, but she came. Was she injured last year? Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
so that's your 16 seed. You got to go against Hannah Mouton. Good luck. Like
Good luck.
they're borderline on the road first round. That's not going to be who you want to see coming to your gym first round. You got Ash, not going to be who you want to see coming to your first round. One of the best shooters in the state. They got the bigs. They got some guards. Like they're a well balanced team. A little younger, continuing to get older. They're going to get better. You got Lafayette at 20. Your defending state champ. Hopefully they'll be getting Grace Paul back. They're way down from where they are as far as the team, as far as their ranking and stuff.
And you think about that with Lafayette, man. If somebody can see them first round, and they're really not a 20 seat. You get what I'm saying? And somebody can see them first round, and they come with the guard Johnson, right? Comes
Yep.
rocking into your gym, and then you thinking, I got the 20 seed, and they come upset you because, like you said, they get Grace Paul back, they'll get rocking and rolling.
Yep. And I mean, like we talk about, Coach Clay here has with the top four, Karen Crow, Liberty, Huntington, Curtis. That's gonna be fun, no matter what. Like, even if everyone else kind of shakes out and the top four kind of take care of what they're trying to do, it's gonna be some good basketball, man. It's gonna be end up being a good division. I think it's gonna be some fun along the way. Could see some upsets as well. Liberty with Whitney Hart, they're they're tough. They got a big that really nobody in the division can match up with. So it's gonna be fun all the way, man. I think Division One Select is one of my favorite, one of my more divisions I'm more excited about. But
Chris, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I know we talked about it a minute ago, and I know we got to move on to Division Two. Huntington Walker, who you got?
Huntington versus Walker. Oh man, that's a great question. I think I always like to say guards win games. Walker did win that game last year, but I think I'm gonna go with Huntington. I'm gonna lean Huntington this way. Both those teams have challenged themselves. Coaches are ready to rock and roll. I just think Huntington's guard play is gonna be able to beat that what Walker does best, the press. But with that being said, that wasn't the case last year. They were turnover McGee the whole way through. I think they'll be a little bit ready for the pressure, the speed of everything. Having Carly Hamilton and company, I guess, back full go, I think it will definitely help. But Kendall Graham had our hands full last year. But I think with everyone being rocking and rolling this year, I think they'll be able to defend the press. I'm gonna lean towards Huntington. Huntington, slight favorite. Slight favorite. Put it on the
I got you.
bulletin
I got
board, Corey. Put it on the bulletin board.
you.
Like we talked about earlier, man.
Division
Shout out to
Two, man.
Coach Marcus Johnson at Southside, man. Definitely does a great job, and it's not easy to do AAU and high school. There's few that do it, and those that do a great job, man. So shout out to you guys. Really appreciate everybody that sacrifices that much time year round, both AAU and high school, and doing that at such a high level. Division Two, man. What you got, man? Wiseman at top. You go ahead and lead us off with that division.
Wiseman's four-headed monster. If you think about this story, man, we were sitting in Hammond last year in the interview room, and I pretty much put the question to Coach Otis was, did anybody want to say three-peat? And man, they're looking like heads and shoulders above everybody here in this division. I'm not gonna say matter of fact, but um, you know, um, the way they play with those four D1s, those college prospects on the floor, Big Brittany Burton signee, Southeastern signee, Diana Ross is, I mean, Diana Ross, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's legit as they come, bro. I know. And then you have Wilson, which is I think is the engine to that show, to that train. And then you got Argison's. It's kind of like a wild card, man. She could play in, she could play out. And they're well coached. They're well coached. They got a big matchup at the end of their district with Bastrop that's sitting at 23-0. The winner of that's going to position themselves pretty well to go in as the number one seed in this division.
Yep, absolutely. Albany lost two key players early, so to see them rank second is really impressive. And it's a testament to Coach Stacy and again that program. That is one of a kind city. I guess you'd call it a town. At the end of the day, only one red light, I believe. For them to be Division Two, one of the bigger schools in the state, and it's just a super small town feel. Whenever they go and make it to the top 28, the whole city shuts down. Gas station puts the sign up, sorry, closed, going to the top 28. That's just how it is, right? I mean, that's so you look down there night in, night out, year in, year out. Albany's in the top 28, so that's going to be a team that I would not want to see. If of course you don't want to see Wasserman, but I don't want to see Albany because they've been there, done this, got that T-shirt. they're ready to get back to that top 28 again. Um, Iowa, I mean, Iowa is young, but they do have a good guard, senior guard. They're going to be a team that's going to be around for a while, right? So there's going to be a team that you're going to have to get used to that's in that top of the division year in, year out. Um, love what coach is doing over there. It's going to be interesting to see how that style of play. But I think this division still plays pretty fast, actually, with the teams that are in this group right here. Iowa, LaGrange, Church Point, those guys kind of in that area, South Bow, all those guys are playing really well. Some good basketball. Saw LaGrange play. They're got two seniors, unsigned seniors that are really, really good. You talked about Ross, and I posted about her earlier. I think she's the best unsigned senior prospect, period. I think some college
Yeah,
coaches have missed a bit on that. It's time to kind of reevaluate and get back on her from every elite JUCO, D2, D1s. I think everyone should really kind of jump back in on her. But LaGrange as well, right? They've got two unsigned seniors that are really good. Church Point, we talked about Parker. Church Point is weird, man. They're like so balanced. So balanced. Guard, wing, big, length. They came out and challenged themselves, got hit in the face, but I like Church Point, man. I like Church Point in that 8 spot. They can jump down to 6, 7. This is another one, man. When you look at it, you know, you got Bruley at 10, Iota even at 13, coming on strong late. You got some teams that are kind of in that bottom half that can kind of jump a couple teams here down the stretch, and will be a terrible draw for a Bastrop or an Iowa or even a Plaquemine
right.
in the quarterfinals. Plaquemine's got Madison Mitchell, one of the best defenders in the state. She's gonna
I,
be able to do a lot, especially in this division. I wouldn't. That's again another team I wouldn't want to see in the quarterfinals. Kind of
man,
catch up on everybody.
shout out. I know you got to get to the comments, but shout out to our weight man, Coach. Man, she goes. You know, everybody's saying she was just in the state title game, wasn't she? And she's gonna leave, and she's gonna go over there and rebuild. And look at them, sitting
Yep.
fifth. Who would have thought that? So shout out to her, man. Put her in the argument of Coach of the Year as well. For what she's done at that school, and you know, thought it would be a couple year build, and she's got them rocking and rolling in year one.
Yep, no doubt. I mean, we got Bruley coming in to our MLK event. We'll be able to get to see them live. That game will be live on LGR as well. You got, I mean, some teams again that have been there before, and then some new teams, right? So I think that's going to be the test of this division. Is going to be the teams that have been there, the Watson and Albany's. I think they're going to punch their ticket, and it's going to be who can punch the ticket for the last two. Is LaGrange going to be able to get back? Iowa, the new guy. Plaquemine, the new guy. South Bow going to be able to get back. Church Point going to be the new guy. Is Bruley going to be able to get back? Is Iota going to be able to be the new guy? I think you got a little bit of new versus old, and they're going to be fighting for those last two spots. It's going to be you do not want to be 7 or 8 here, because if you're 7 or 8,
No,
that means you got Wasserman and at Albany. Good luck winning at
at
Wasserman
home.
and at Albany. When you get off the bus, you're down by 10. Whenever you get into the gym, you're down by 20, and the game ain't even started.
Hey,
Like,
it is hard to play in Monroe. Trust me.
yes,
I'll keep that comment. It is a tough environment, physical environment, and you know, Coach Otis gets some home cooking there in that gym, man. So we were able to go in, man, and beat them. And, you know, we just had to play. We had to play an outstanding A plus plus game to beat them in their home. They're just hard to beat in their building. So good luck
yep,
if you're 7 or 8 having to walk in the Wasman quarterfinal, second round, third round, quarterfinals, whatever. You know what I mean?
absolutely. We'll catch up on the comments. And Bruley is always tough. I agree with that. They're like they're a team that's been there, done that, right? So it's going to be the new kid on the block trying to knock off the kid that's been there, done that. Coach Clay's talking about South Bow stuff. I love South Bow style. I love South Bow. the way they coach, and the adjustments that they make on the fly. All their kids are on the same page. That is a super tough out. Do not give that coaching staff multiple days to prepare for a playoff game. It is going to be a tough out. Like it's going to be very interesting in this division in the quarterfinals, and even kind of leading into that. But I think this division is going to be some really fun games in those quarterfinals. We'll go ahead and jump down to Division Two, man. You go ahead and lead us off there. That's LCA, Vanderbilt, Madison Prep, and everyone else.
Yeah. I saw LCA in Lake Charles. And it's man, they're legit. We were together out there at Duncanville, and of course she put on the show out there, and they're built. I would argue, and this will give honor some bulletin board material, but I would argue they're probably the top team in the state. And for what they have and who they have, number one kid in the state. So he has them rocking and rolling. They look like they're focused. I think people pay attention to Jada Richard, but I think people forget about people like Eve Alexander, who is a legit D1 prospect. And she signed to
FAMU. Yep.
FAMU, yeah, right. So the way she was, I saw him play Huntington, right, and the way she was hedging hard, the way, man, she's just big, long, and she affects the game in so many ways. And I think LCA has that in their advantage there. Vanderbilt Catholic, I saw them against someone in Lake Charles as well. Charles is tough as they come. So I don't know if colleges are on her, but they need to get on her quick
For
because
sure.
she is tough as they come. So Madison Prep, I hadn't really seen them, so I'll defer to you on that one.
Yeah, so on this comment here, Fairview and Oakdale both repping Allen Parrish and Hammond, man. Not to get into the area of the region of the state of who's the best. I feel like a few years ago it was the Lake Charles area. It's probably the north of the past few years. This year, man, Sinla area, man. Shout out to all the teams in that Sinla area. I'll kind of group in Fairview in them as well in that area, man. Sinla is playing some really good basketball, and they're just deep all the way through. All divisions. It's one of those areas of the state that does get overlooked, but the people that are in that area are so passionate about basketball, and I think that shows in the style of play that we're seeing now. So shout out to Sinla representing all those lower classifications kind of all the way through as they're continuing to grow in that area. They're competing with anybody and everybody, man. The Fairviews, the Oakdales, who else? Oak Hill, Hicks, all those teams in that Sinla area, man. Want to give you guys a shout out. Mr. Lamar does a great job of covering that area, man. Whenever you look at the rankings that he puts out of the top teams in that area, it's unreal. It is unreal. But back to Division Two, you talked about him in LCA. So LCA did have a player get banged up. Hopefully we pray that she comes back. Hopefully she got some good news, and we'll get some good news this week. Vanderbilt Catholic, man, they've got all the pieces from the guard. They just play extremely hard. They just got to try to get over that hill of the LCA monster. Madison Prep is a team that was kind of off the radar last year. Won state championships in the past. They've got one of the best freshmen in the state in Brooklyn Smith. And I want to give a shout out to Paige Hawkins, man. Paige Hawkins is a guard over there that's playing extremely well, and she's allowing Brooklyn Smith to play at a higher level. So if you're just a freshman and you're just thrown to the wolves, it's extremely tough, especially in Division Two. But having Paige there as kind of her running mate, Paige is able to handle the ball a lot of the times. Brooklyn's able to get off the ball and score, or Brooklyn's able to handle it and kind of kick out to Paige, vice versa. So that 1-2 combo is really deadly in that division, especially if Paige is playing well along with Brooklyn Smith. And then you add in Robinson. Layla's playing really well, man. She went up against the top prospect as far as a post player that Louisiana has had, in my opinion, since Kalani Brown at the Sugar Bowl against, her name's Caroline Bradley. over at Oak Grove, and Layla gave her everything she could handle, man. Granted, she had some help; they were helping out inside, but Layla's ability, to jump extremely quick, the volleyball coming out in her, and her physicality was able to match Caroline. So that's something that, whenever you look kind of down this list, not many of these teams have. Eve Alexander, who talked about, can probably defend her. Michaela Charles can defend her. But that's not two kids you want to get in foul trouble either. If they get in foul trouble trying to
Correct.
defend Robinson, that could be some issues. So I think Mazda Prep is a team to watch out for. They could arguably be the second best team in this division. Coach does a good job over there as far as scheduling, extremely difficult. So they're always going to be challenged and be ready to rock and roll. But I think this is a team this is a division that's very top heavy with those three. Looking down the list, it's kind of wide open. Northside is one of those teams that I think can jump into that top 28 spot. Terrellins Catholic is playing really well. The strength of schedule is not as strong as Northside. I think Northside is a better team in my opinion. Edie White has Caroline Adams, again a guard that can win games for you. And Hannon, man, I like Hannon. Hannon is a upper class team as they're getting a little bit older. We've seen them with some experience down the stretch. I think Hannon is a team to kind of keep an eye on in that division. And then De La Salle, man. Keep an eye out for De La Salle. Ranked 18th. They're getting Danae Lewis back. She's limited to, I believe, 5 minutes a game right now. So that's not somebody that you want to see in the first round, second round, if you're one of those higher seeds. You want to avoid De La Salle at all costs. And De La Salle is going to be a team that's 6-11. They're going to climb up the rankings and probably be around 11 or 12 whenever it's all said and done after district. Let's jump into Division 3, man. Division 3, non-select, Rose Pine. We talked about them a little bit earlier, man. Rocking and rolling. Brought back everybody from a state championship team. It was a hell of a run last year. I know we were kind of debating on who was the MVP. I think you and I split votes on who we voted for. It was just that well of a balanced team, man. So shout out to Rose Pine. Coach does a great job over there. Who else in that division? If you want to talk about Rose Pine, go ahead. But who else in that division are you looking out for?
Yeah, you can't sleep on Amy. Looks like they got the kid that got hurt last year. She's back healthy, correct? Amy.
Yes, she's back healthy. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. She's back healthy, so that you got them. They're
And by the
gonna
way,
be
her name's Miracle, and she had 5 threes in one game. I think 4 in another, 3 in another. So I think she ended up with like 12 threes in 3 games at the Sugar Bowl. She was on
okay. So
fire.
they're gonna be rocking and rolling. Again, this is one of those divisions that's kind of top heavy. Doyle is doing what Doyle does. They kind of be steady every year. Can they sustain it to get past a meet? Can they get past Rose Pine? Rose Pine looks to be the favorite, but again, we know how it goes with favorites. You got to show up and play every night. So coach will be the first one to tell you. I think I talked with him the other day just to talk to him, and the one thing that he wanted to stress to me is, coach, we're battle tested. He's put his kids out there against some good teams. He hasn't ran from anybody, hasn't been afraid to lose his zero. Don't matter who he plays, and he's gonna put his team. He's gonna put his girls against the best of the best. And so I think Rose Time is going to be battle tested going into these playoffs. They have a tough district, I think. When I was looking at the district record the other day, their district is all kind of balanced out to who they're playing. Everybody in that district have almost 15 wins. So it's going to be a grind for them every night, getting them ready for those that playoff run.
Absolutely. It's you talked about Rose Pine, talked about Doyle. Doyle style of play is going to be up and down, which is I think they'll be able to do it a lot better than some of these other teams. So they'll be able to compete with the top 28 teams. So I do look to see them in the top 28. And then whenever you talk about that, you're looking at 2 exits maybe down the interstate, and they're already there. So all of Doyle and all of Livingston is going to show up to that game. So that's going to be a tough out too. Whenever you get to the top 28. A Meet, man, I really like to see A Meet. They're deeper than they have been in the past, not relying just on Brumfield and Irving. But whenever it comes to time to play basketball, man, Irving and Brumfield showed up this weekend. Shout out to those two young ladies. Um, Irving put the team on her back. Miracle put the team on her back in the first half as Brumfield picked up 3 fouls early. Amy was kind of a little bit ahead, so Coach Pierre put Brumfield on the bench, and Irving just kind of kept the lead or kept it close the whole way through. I think she knocked down 4 threes in the first half. She ended up with like 18 points in the first half. She was on fire, absolutely. It's crazy. Like I had like the unsigned senior prospects of like the best to watch out for, and Irving wasn't on there. But after that game, there was no question about it. She won All State, Sugar Bowl, All Tournament team. That she deserves another opportunity to get a look at the next level. And whenever you have two guards like that, Irving and Brumfield, it's gonna be a tough out. They'll be able to compete with Rose Pine with those guards. They've got Pierre on. I mean, they got what's the girl's name on the inside? Is it Pierre? The girl on the inside. I think she's a sophomore now, so they've got kind of the two-headed monster. They've got the big inside, and they've got a ton of other guards that just play a ton of good defense. Westlake has the two sisters that are dogs. That's a tough out right there, man. I think Westlake's going to be a team that is going to surprise some people this year. It's kind of hard to surprise people whenever you're fourth, I guess. But Westlake has everything you need to make a run. You know, Gabby is going to be a name that you're going to want to remember whenever it comes to that team. Gabby is a dog. Gabby needs to get consideration at the next level. Super under the radar, super under recruited. I would take her at a junior college, and she would be playing tomorrow, even though she's still got another year left. I think French Settlement, I've always been high on them. I think this is going to be the year where they'll have opportunity to punch that ticket into the top 28. So I'm looking to see. I mean, I think it's about where it's at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think those 5 teams are really the only 5 teams that have an opportunity to win a state championship. I want to see, I guess, kind of who comes out of it and who's that odd man looking in. I think the key is going to be you want to avoid Rose Pine. But whoever gets that 5 seed, you just don't want to be that 5 seed. That 5 seed is going to have a tough game on the road, whether it's French Summit playing at Westlake or vice versa. I think the key is going to be you want to be a top 4 seed here. Everyone else in this division, in my opinion, is just kind of fighting for that quarterfinal bid. Springfield does have an opportunity, well coached, does a good job over there, but I don't think they're at the level of the top 5. Sterlington is another team too. Certainly the schedule's not as heavy as everyone else, but Sterlington is a team that I think can make it to the top 28. Let's go ahead and jump into Division 3 select side. This is that division, man, that's just a little finicky. Parkview Baptist won last year. They were on your neck last year. You want to go ahead and talk? You want to go ahead and talk about that division? I'll catch up with the comments.
We haven't did a show since then, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It was so funny when I got to Hammond last year, and they had the picture of the bus, right, with the steamroll, right?
Yeah, the steamroll.
They had a steamroll, and they said the picture of the coach driving the steamroll, man. It was funny. It was good to know that he used that for motivation. It worked. So tell him I need my cut. I need my percentage out of that, and I do need my state championship ring. And so shout out. They're back. They're back this year. They're sitting at 11-6, sitting second. So hey, I'm picking with them this year. I'm not picking against them. Okay.
I love it, man. That's some good information. Right? Doyle beat French Settlement by 2 on Saturday. So, I mean, that's how close that is, right? 2-point game, kind of down the wire. French Settlement and Doyle really, really, really close when it gets to that top 6. So Parkview brings back, I believe, everybody from last year. You got Dunham, strength of schedule not as good, getting a lot of PowerPoint rankings, but they're up there. U-High, they've got some pieces to compete with the Parkview. I do think this division is pretty wide open. as far as who can win, but it's going to be kind of like those top 6 teams. It's probably going to be. I would draw the line. I was talking to someone else about Glenmore. They were real adamant that they have an opportunity to. They have all the pieces, I guess you can say, to make a run. To not count them out. Newman's got the two bigs. That's a really tough matchup for anybody in this division. Really, anybody in the state with the two bigs that they have. So that's going to be a tough out. It's going to be one of those games. I mean, I hate to see Homer Christian and what happened to them throughout the year. I hate to see that. I mean, they were going to be a team that was really going to compete with this. Mr. Potts talked about Glen Oaks. I could see Glen Oaks coming on late. Again, they're a team that challenges themselves early, looking at their schedule. They're probably more battle tested than anybody in this division outside of maybe Newman had a tough schedule and Parkview. So I could see Glen Oaks coming on strong late. Not a team that I would want to see. I haven't seen Dunham live. I need to get out and try to watch them. But I think you're right. And Parkview is probably the favorite. Menard again, Sandline area, doing a good job, man. Doing a good job in that Sandline area.
Yeah.
I think they could be another team that could represent Sandline in that top 28. Let's jump into Division 4, non-select. I'll go ahead and jump into the comments. Arcadiana, baby. What you got for Division 4?
Division 4. We're in non-select, you said?
Yeah, Division 4 non-select. Arcadiana, Oakdale.
Arcadia. Arcadia's, they're young. Got one of the best. What is she? She a freshman? A DeAsia? Yeah, she's a freshman,
Yeah,
right?
2027. Yep.
Yeah, class 27, one of the best. She's probably could be in the argument for one of the best freshmen in the state.
Yep.
They got a big inside. They got the size. So they're sitting pretty. Coach Curry's sitting pretty good with the talent that she have. Got a transfer in, I believe, a good guard. That really probably changed them. But overall, the talent that
Where's
she
she coming?
brought
That's
back.
the kid from Gibson Coleman came across.
The
Yeah.
gift from Gibbs Coleman, yeah. But Coach Curry brings. They were a money young, 3 point away from
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, from they were a money young, 3 point away from making it to the state title game last year. So, they're bringing those back. Now looking at their schedule, and you got to look at their schedule. They're gonna fall back here a little bit because of the district. It's not too strong, so I believe Oakdale is going to go in this as the 1 seed here, based on who they have left to play. Arcadia will beat everybody, but when you talk about power points and you're playing a 1-7 district team that you got to play, or an 11 district team, or 4-11 district team, and you got to play them twice. That's that's gonna hurt you.
Yep.
And you're gonna lose points. So Oakdale will probably jump them to be number one in this division going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and the run Oakdale went on, man, was just crazy. How when you look at this list, knocked off Lake Arthur at Lake Arthur, knocked off Arcadia on big time shot. It's just just reliving that run they had, man, was so fun. And they bring back essentially the whole roster, so it's really fun to kind of see them back in the mix again. Shout out to them and the support that they get, the job that Renata Edwards has done there, the community and how much they've rallied behind them, man. Shout out to them. It's just been really fun to watch that program and that team and that area grow over there over the course of these couple of years. Again, as we get down into Division 4 on both sides, Division 5 on both sides, I really appreciate all the comments, guys. People throwing those out there and really helping us out. This is the divisions that we don't get an opportunity to see as much, so we're going to rely on you guys, especially with this being the first week of who we need to be kind of keeping an eye on as well. So we're trying to help everyone, trying to keep an eye on everyone. If you got somebody you think we should kind of keep an eye on, go ahead and comment below, man. Lake Arthur, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. That's what y'all gonna start there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, Lake Arthur, been a team that's won a state championships, been there, done that, made it to the top 28 a lot of years in a row. Sitting back at 17-4, schedule's not as strong as it has been, but they're winning a lot of basketball games. That's a very tough place. Again, we talked about Oakdale went into Lake Arthur and won last year. That's going to be a very tough place to win on the road in the quarterfinal game. I look for Lake Arthur to get back and punch that ticket back to the top 28 behind Vivian Skeeto, again, one of the top unsigned guards in the state. Whenever you look at this division, you got a lot of the top kids that I would say that are kind of under the radar, as well as seniors that are unsigned, right? So we got two young ladies from Oakdale, Hobson and Amani Young. You talked about them. You got Skeeto from Lake Arthur. You got Washington from Lakeview. No, well, she's 25, huh? We've got the Maryville young kids. You've got Caroline Bradley from Oak Grove. You've got a lot of talent, despite this being a a smaller class, right? So I do like the depth that this group has. White Castle, like we talked about right here, Mr. Potan's talking about White Castle is a team that I could see knock on the door and go into someone else's place, chip on their shoulder, and win a game. Lakeview, another team. Seeing them at
Yep.
5 means they got to go on the road in the quarterfinals, and not who you want to see it at all. But I think
Correct.
Lakeview's gonna end up
But
jumping up there and getting to that top
yeah,
4 seed.
and shout out to Timberly Washington, man, for what she's done to get that team, Coach Fuller and Timberly Washington, and the talent around her. But everybody knows it's kind of the Timothy Washington show, right? And to do what she does night in, night out, kind of have to play both sides of the ball, aggressive defender, on ball defender, and have to score for her team. We saw her last year in the and what was it, the I want to say the state championship game where she,
Yeah,
no, was it the semifinal game where she was in foul trouble, or I think, or maybe,
yep,
and she had to sit out, but she came rolling back, just a heart. Fourth quarter pressure. I know that's her. That's
yeah,
her. I'm gonna give her a plug there. Fourth quarter pressure, and to have that team sitting at 5, I think they'll jump up into the top 4. I believe. But coach, shout out to them for doing what they're doing this year. When it looked like they probably would have fall off, but they're right back in the thick of things.
yeah. It's kind of the teams that have been here before, looking like those teams are the favorite to get back there. But then you're looking at like the White Castles, East Bow's got a tough schedule. They'll be able to be challenged as far as an opportunity to win a game on the road. Oberlin has shooters, not a team I really want to see in the quarterfinals. As far as they can come into my gym and knock down 6, 7, 8 threes, and now I'm in a dogfight. Whenever you're looking kind of further down the line, again you got Oak Grove. No one in the state can match up with them. Trying to see who exactly Oak Grove played that was tough. And Caroline had been out, so she's back now. She was a little under the weather. For those that don't know, Oak Grove, Caroline Bradley, she's a 2027. She's the best post player in the state of Louisiana since Kalani Brown. Kalani Brown went on to Baylor, played in the WNBA. She was a 2-time All-American at Baylor. So that's where
Uh,
this young lady is. She has 8
looks like
SEC offers, and she's only a freshman, and LSU is
yeah,
one of them.
looks like they played Lagrange to a 43-46 game.
Yep.
Also played Washita Parish earlier in the year to a 60-63 game. So those two tough games for them, kind of bumping up and playing those bigger schools. You know what I mean?
Yep, and that's a good point. Challenge themselves. Not, I mean, they're going to win some games. They'll climb up the power ranking. Not going to be somebody that you're going to want to see um, when it comes time to the playoffs and quarterfinals. Like that's going to be a team I'm trying to avoid. To be honest with you, I'm trying to avoid them. Oberlin, White Castle. That's probably the 3 teams. Maryville's young. Got a young guard that can score it, flat out score it. Not teams that you want to see whenever it comes to the quarterfinals or even the second round. Shout out to Hobson, man, tuning in with us. I love that picture right there. That's a really cool picture. But Hobson's playing well, man, and I gave her due credit on social media. She is a player that, in my opinion, all junior college, NAI, everyone in the state should really be looking at this kid. She's a kid that's a difference maker. Creates 1-on-1, can score basketball, makes her teammates better, and she's a big reason her and Younger, the catalyst for Oakdale. And they're going to be a big reason why they'll be able to have an opportunity to defend that state title and possibly run it back. I think they're definitely the favorite, regardless of what this power rankings looks like. Just with the senior heavy, been there, done that before. If I'm looking at this division, Oakdale's the hands down favorite. I'll catch up in the comments, but you go ahead and start us out with Division 4. Again, a little division that's a little top heavy. In my opinion, I think we only got 5 teams that can win at this state championship here. But what you got on the select side, Division 4?
Division 4 select. Let me get that for you. Select Southern Lab.
Oh,
That's the
Young's a
Southern
junior.
Lab.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Are we in? Are we in the Division 4 select?
Yeah, I was. We're talking about Monty's being a junior. I apologize about that.
Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah. So, Division 4 select. You got Southern Lab, who's proven to, as Coach say, probably the best team in Baton Rouge. She's she was in the Baton Rouge tournament, right? East Baton Rouge
Yep.
tournament.
Yep.
And they kind of won that, and they're bringing. Is Foreman due to be back this year or no?
They're saying she could be back. They're saying that's what the little birdies are telling me. She could be back. So
You
that's
know,
unfortunate for everyone else. That's very fortunate for Southern Lab, and unfortunate
yeah,
for
it's very
everyone
fortunate.
else.
Something like I know Coach has a chip on her shoulder down, up 18 in the state championship game, and maybe kind of called that timeout and then gave Northwood Lena the time to come regroup and come back, and they come back and upset them. That's that taste has to be in their mouth, and that's something they probably don't want to happen again. So Coach them are probably on a mission to make sure that don't ever happen again. So shout out to them. They're playing well. What's the other kid? The other guard. She won at the Fab 50. She won. What's the other guard they
Ponte,
have? Man, yeah, no,
Ponte, or
not
Kinsley
Ponte. The other
James?
one.
Kinsley
Yeah,
James.
yeah. She is legit as they come. I really like her game. I don't think she gets enough credit on that team with Foreman and Fontenay. So she's like that third piece for them, and she keeps them balanced on the floor. And I really love her game. But I think coach is on a mission to make sure that mental lapse, so to say, don't happen again, and they close it out this year. Now, up 18, that's a tough one to get over, but it looks like her and her girls will put it behind them and on a mission to make sure that it don't happen again.
No doubt. And I want to address this comment here. Looking at LaSalle, it's not that I overlooked them being 16-0. They are looking really well. I just haven't seen them in person or even seen them on film. But as you were talking, I did go back and look at their schedule, man. They have beat some tough teams, man. With Tioga, they took them by 10. We talked about Tioga being 17-5. I really like how balanced they are. They've beaten Family Christian, Family Community twice, Washington Christian. So they have some really good wins in there as well as, I guess, a softer schedule. So it's definitely going to be someone to keep an eye on. LaSalle, I want to try to get some film on them and check them out in that Division 4. But that's what it's all about, guys. Really appreciate everybody for commenting. And, like with this being the first one, it's important that you
Oh,
guys comment, support your team, and anybody in your area. That's kind of help
well,
us
well,
all
Chris,
keep an eye on everything. Go ahead.
yeah, and shout out to LaSalle. We certainly don't want to overlook them. They actually got a kid that won our Queen of the Court post at the Fab 50. What's the kid's name? I apologize. It slips my name. The big kid in the post, she won. Then she plays for LaSalle, if I'm not mistaken. And she won the Queen of the Court post, right? I think
I
this
think
year.
you're right. Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
and
So
that's what it's
shout
all
out to
about.
them.
Like we're not. It takes a village. And I guess that's my point. So I really appreciate everyone for A tuning in and B being an interactive. And we're gonna get this thing rocking and rolling now. We're a month away, whether it's every week or bi-weekly, and then jump back to every week a little bit later. But Jumping into Division Four, Southern Lab is definitely a team to beat. Like you talked about, I took the words right out of my mouth with Kinsley James. Man, Kinsley James does not get enough credit. The unsigned senior, again, is just like Hobson. I would be knocking on that young lady's door if I'm at any junior college, NAIA, trying to get her on campus and give her a shot. It's a young lady that's going to be the first one in the gym, last one to leave. She's going to be the one that's aggravating you on the weekend. Coach can open the gym. I would probably just A, make her a key, or B, leave the back door unlocked because she's going to be bugging you like crazy to get in the gym. So shout out to Kinsley James and what she's doing over there with Southern Lab alongside with Potan. And man, they can get back for them, and that's going to be really tough out, really tough team. Like you said, I think they got a chip on their shoulder. Hamilton Christian, we've seen them with DeVille, again, another unsigned senior in this division that is really good and has the ability to play at the next level, also deserves a shot. McKenzie's got it rolling. They've got some young pieces around them that are, going to be prospects coming down the line. So I think with the senior of McKenzie and young ladies kind of following in her footsteps, they've got some experience from last year, where I think they were excited to make it to the top 28. Now I think they're trying to make that next step and A, compete with Southern Lab, or B, just kind of get into that state championship game. And I think they've got everything that they need, and I think that's why you see them in the rank number 2.
And not to overlook Sacred Heart. I haven't seen them, don't know too much about them. You could talk about them, but I'll go right to 4. Look at the year that Northwood Lena's had. They lose a big piece in the early part of preseason to an ACL tear and Johnson, who's really whew, what she brings to that team. You know what I mean? But Coach Cooper, the coach that she is, the staff that she has, have weathered the storm. They're playing. They're starting 2 7th graders.
Yeah.
Okay, and here they are sitting at 4. And so that's one team that you do not want to let get rolling here in late January, early February. Is Northwood Lena, and I'm sure Southern Love would love to see them again with that rematch. And the Coopers and company at Lena would love to run it back as well. Try to make it a 3-peat because they're going for 3. And kind of with those kids are getting ready to graduate, that they've built that program. You think about what they did with that program, where they built it from to where it is now. So that's gonna be a good lookout. Do they take separate roles? Do they meet in the quarterfinals, or can
Yeah.
somehow Northwood Lena gets in top 2, 3, and they meet in the state finals again?
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, even Warsaw Christian, man. Again, a team that's well coached. They don't have the star power. I guess that they have had, was it 2 or maybe 3 years ago when they were competing for state championships, but well coached. Every kid is capable of interchanging. They can play 6, 7, 8 kids, not really have any type of impact or fall off. So I think Warsaw Christian is going to be a team that's going to continue to get better down the stretch. They could be a team that, especially if they're 5, that could upset somebody on the road in the quarterfinals. Sacred Heart, I haven't seen them either, but I did ask somebody in their area, and they said that they're rocking and rolling, and they're even surprising them for how well they're playing. So shout out to Sacred Heart, man, to see them at 3. Hamilton Christian. I think that's 2 teams that we haven't seen as high as they are now before, really probably ever, as far as I can remember. To be 2 and 3, both those teams. So shout out to those 2 teams. I think they're going to be new kids on the block trying to knock off, like you said, Northwood Lena and Southern Lab. But in my opinion, this is just a 5-headed race with Warsaw Christian having kind of an outside shot of that top 28. Let's jump into Division 5, non-select. Let's leave them for last, man. I love that division. Let's go
Yeah,
division.
that's lead them for last.
Let's go Division 5 select. Division 5 select. You go ahead and jump on them, man. I'll jump into the comments.
Oak Hill's playing some good ball, man. They challenged themselves this year. So you might say, okay, coach has got 7 losses, but coaches looks like she's got a mission this year, having played the Negative Central of the world's the
Oak Hill and Hicks
uh,
is playing tomorrow. That's what
yeah.
that's we got
Uh,
somebody's got to go live on that one, man. Somebody's got to
that that
we got to see
that
that.
is that's gonna be a show down there. And they've played FAVU. They've beat teams with they've played FAVU a couple times.
Yep.
Uh, and so they've played Huntington, they've played Rose Pine, they've played Negative Central. So when you talk about Oak Hill's loss, none of those losses is to be ashamed of. Those that tells me coaches battle testing her kids to make sure that when the rubber meets the road in those playoffs, and when their backs against the wall, they'll have something to draw on because they've been there before. They've played the tough games, and they'll be ready to rock and roll. Look like she's played Rose Pine 3 times.
Wow.
So, and then they got, like you said, they got Hicks tomorrow night, and then you got Anna Coco sitting down there on the 23rd, and 23-3. Okay, it's not going to get easy. And then 2 nights later, they got Hicks again. So Oak Hill's going to be okay here, and they're going to be battle tested for this run. If I had to go with this group, J.S. Clark, Coach Rick's having pulled double duty boys and girls, somehow balancing it out, and he's has them still 13-3. Nobody knew what this team was going to be. Had a transfer out, kid left and went to LCA, correct?
Yep.
But they still somehow managed to be the J.S. Clark who we thought they could be last year. They got to the state final game last year, right? Looks like they're
Correct.
poised to get back this year.
Correct. Yep. I mean, this is a. I want to comment right here on Coach Price's comment. Asia Patan, one of the best on ball defenders in the state. Don't even put Division 4. That's a disrespect to my girl, Patan. I mean, honestly, best on ball defender in the state. Top 3. Let's go off the rails a little bit. I'm going Patan, Kiki Nelson, and Timberland Washington.
Timberland Washington.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, man. You can't let me finish. You got a dog. But yeah, so at least we're on the same page, man. So that would be my top 3, hands down. Those 3 are in a whole nother level of everyone else, man. Asia Patan doesn't get enough credit for what she does on the defensive end. I mean, leadership too, man. Like, the kid's tough. But where were we? Oh, Division 5. Oak Hill is a testament of what small town basketball should and needs to look like, right? So Coach West does a fantastic job. She comes to our events. She plays on Saturday in the summer, plays 3 games, gets destroyed against all these AAU teams. But she's bringing her high school team, right? She's sacrificing her weekends over the summer, coming to our events, coming to all these events, and Midland's another team that kind of reminds me of the same thing. As these small town schools start raising their kids up from 7th grade all the way through, and the more time that these coaches put into it, man, it's just fun to watch and see these people, these young ladies develop over time and continue to grow. And it's cool to see it pay off too, man. Like it's one thing to do it. I think it's paying off for Midland. I think you've already seen it pay off for Oak Hill. But I do want to give a shout out to those coaches, the communities, everyone involved, man, to sacrifice your summers is the reason why you're seeing Oak Hill here. And they're head and shoulders above everyone in this division. They're definitely a team to beat. They're a team everyone's chasing, and rightfully so. Shout out to Alexis Dyer for committing to LSU Alexander. I think that's going to be a fantastic fit for her over there. Personally, I think she could have even played higher, but I think she'll have a stellar career over there, possibly all conference by the time her junior, senior year comes around. But J.S. Clark, man, you got Taylor at the end of the day, man. Whenever it comes down to scoring the basketball, one-on-one, coach, the play's not working, give the ball to Taylor and get out of the way. She's got that
Get out of the
ability.
way.
Yep. She's got that ability. The young lady, Ned, is playing fantastic, man. I love to see the way that she's developed over there. And that's another team, man. J.S. Clark has committed to playing over the summer with the smaller level AAU. J.S. Clark's doing a great job keeping those younger kids together, the ones that stayed, played over the summer at all of our stuff, man. And that's why everyone thought they were going to fall off. And then you come back and look at this, and they're ranked second, chasing Oak Hill, right where they need to be. Family Christian is another team that matches up with anyone with their senior point guard, their forward, one of the top forwards in the state in her class. It's another deadly combination. I just feel like Oak Hill is going to be able to wear them down over time. But if they can limit the turnovers and stuff, Family Christian can compete with both those teams as well. Claiborne Christian, I haven't seen, but they're a team that has been in year out in the conversation. So they're going to be ready to rock and roll too. I think it's another one of these little divisions where it's just super top heavy. Everyone's chasing Oak Hill. But I think these other teams are, as far as Clark, Family Christian, and Claiborne, are closer than they have been in the past. I'll go ahead and jump back to the comments. Let's see. And you can get it started, man. Division 5, the most exciting division. Fun basketball for sure, man. Shut the town down, man. We got some good basketball.
Yeah, we definitely got some good basketball here, and Hicks, Anacoco. I think Hicks has one loss, and it's to Anacoco, who's sitting right behind them at 2. Hicks was, I think, 20-0 before they lost, bro. And it was a stellar run that coach, first year there, right? Am I mistaken? Right?
Yes,
her first year there. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and to have this, we all know what Hicks went through, not having a gym for so many years, but still was one of the best teams around, would go anywhere and play anybody and was not scared. Coach moves on to another school. She steps right in, and they still rocking and rolling. So those seniors that they have, the two that I'm going to say, the big and the guard.
Cheyenne and Reese. Yeah. Someone talked about Cheyenne earlier, man. We'll talk about her a little bit now. I agree with Cheyenne Phillips is a dog. She's right there with Alexis Dyer. If Alexis Dyer, like I said, can be all conference at LSUA, Cheyenne Phillips can be all conference at LSUA as well. So I don't know what LSUA has, or if you're trying to stop Alexis Dyer and you're in their conference, whether it's the Red River or whatever conference you want to be in, that's somebody that definitely is one of the top unsigned forwards in the state. Versatile, physical, will elbow you, knock you down, score 2 points and 1, and help you up. So shout out to Cheyenne. Shout out to what she's doing. I believe Reese signed with LSU as well. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I mean, shout out to LSU, man, what they're doing over there. It helps them that that area is very good. Like we talked about already, makes recruiting a lot easier. You just stay really close. But Coach Billy's doing a good job, man, of keeping the kids in that area in the state close and recruiting the home bodies. And these kids have won a lot of games that we're talking about, like the Hicks, Oak Hill. Like recruiting these kids is really beneficial for your program. I'm gonna back it off the rails there. I'll jump into Midland. Have you seen Midland play?
I have not seen Midland. Of course, we did see. I did see Fabu earlier this year. And Jinx is still Jinx. You know what I mean? And she's still the show and the caboose and the engine and everything else to that team. And so Fabu's again, as year after year, we look up and they're in the conversation for a state title.
Yep, and talk about some people talking about some young teams in this area. So, we had somebody else already comment about Simpson. Now it's the second person comment about Simpson. So, shout out to Simpson, 20-6, starting 5 as an 8th grader, 3 freshmen, and a sophomore. I believe y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but Bell City is similar as well. So you've got 2 teams that are sitting at 5 and 6 that are young youth, ready to rock and roll. That's gonna be fun, to kind of see where those teams finish out and see who they have to try to beat in the quarterfinals on the road. A lot of experience coming out of that. It's going to be some very beneficial years, but see if they can punch through. I have seen Midland. I love Midland, man. Midland, in my opinion, as like I talked about with Oak Hill, has challenged themselves over the course of this last 2 years, knowing that this was going to be a really good year for them. They've got the talent from like Gracie Miller that can flat out shoot it. One of the best shooters in the state. She's unsigned as well. High academic kid. College coaches should be all over that young lady. Um, Especially if you need some shooting. Like who doesn't need shooting? Hard working and everything else. But they've got the guard, they've got the shooting, they've got the guard play, the two guards that can go high tempo, and they've got two bigs that are really good. With Savoy being having an opportunity to be legit D1 in my opinion. So I think this is Midland's year to kind of make a run. That's not somebody 15-7. It's an understatement for their record, and it looks like Pickens is the same way, 16-10. Understatement for their record. Hathaway as well, 11-12. Understatement for their record. Hathaway was one of the best shooters in the state. It's a lot. I mean, this group is so deep again, right? So whenever you get down to the Summerfields and Hornbecks, Quitman, then it may start falling off a little bit. But man, in my opinion, you might have 8 teams that can win a state championship in this group. From what I've seen, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong with y'all's input, but I wouldn't be surprised if Midland wins. I wouldn't be surprised if who else down? I wouldn't be surprised if Hathaway's in the state championship fighting for a title. Like all these teams would not surprise me if they're there at the end. I'll catch up with the comments. You want to add anything else there? Oak Hill wins state Division 5.
I agree with everything you said there.
Shante Clay, yeah, shout out. Clay doesn't get enough credit, man, for Walker and the defense she does. I would put her in that top 3 with the Pontans, Nelson, Washington's. Clay is in that conversation as well, for sure. I think it's a little hidden because of the style of play, but if it was a lot more man being played over there, it's a legit defensive on ball stopper. Who else? Trying to catch up with the comments. Simpson rotation. Madison Prep isn't to be slept on in their division. Yeah, we definitely talked about them already. They're definitely tough, man. Northside, I haven't seen them. Excited about them coming to our event, MLK. Again, we talked about that. We'll post the schedule a little bit later. But excited about seeing Northside. They're a team that's challenged themselves. So I think they're going to be a team that's going to be able to be hot. And that division, their district is tough. So if they win some games, they can climb up the rankings real quick. Let's see. Pleasant Hill, a lot of people talking about Pleasant Hill, 18-8, having a chance to win their district. You can see them climb up the rankings. They could be 11-12. Probably not somebody you want to see. Simpson be a 5, 6, 7 seed. It's a tough draw. Yeah, I agree with Dusty here. Like seeing these teams with Simpson being a 5, 6, 7 seed, they're talking about making a top 28. I'm telling you, I could see Pickens, Hathaway, all those. I would not be shocked if any of these teams make it to the top 28 and have a shot at winning a state championship. And in Fairview, again, one senior. So they're going to be back again, ready to rock and roll. This is a fun division, man. I'm excited to see this division kind of come down. Now I'm looking down the list through Phoenix. I don't know if they have any injuries, but they came to our Hall of Fame game, and that team is freaking good. Looking at the schedule, they lost to Carr by 16. Tough game there. And they're playing a lot of higher division teams. Booker T. Washington lost by 4. Phoenix is not somebody that you're going to want to see. Phoenix is a team that's closer to my area. Doesn't really get a lot of love, I guess, because they're really the only small school in our area. But they've got guard play. They've got a legit defensive stopper and shooter, and then they've got a legit big back to the basket. So they'll be able to match up with the Hicks of the world. They would really be a really tough draw for Hicks. So yeah, that's probably my sleeper. Anything else, man?
Man, I think that's you hit it all right on the head there. I think we're in for some good basketball here the rest of January. and then February, and then it's gonna be the road to Hammond.
Yes, sir.
That's why I think it was important for us to come back tonight to kind of highlight, the road to Hammond starts now. You know what I mean? Teams are locking in, getting ready for the conference district play, and it's teams are jockeying for positions right now. Where you want to be, teams are looking at PowerPoints. Shout outs to Go Preps, keeping us. I think Go Preps had everybody in the state about to have a heart attack the other night when the power rankings went down. Uh, and
For
so
sure.
everybody was glad that came back up. So shout out to them. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. You've been busy over
Absolutely.
the last few months. Good to see you come back. We hadn't did this since around the state tournament of last year, around March, right? So
Absolutely.
it's good to see you, buddy.
Absolutely. And Coach Clay talked about Phoenix had someone get injured. So, yeah, that's definitely unfortunate. But, man, I appreciate everyone for joining us, man. Like we talked about, man, it's big that we kind of jump back on there. Appreciate Coach Kendrick for, really being adamant about us jumping on, man, and being a month away from playoffs. It's crazy. We're a month and some change, like a month and maybe 2 weeks or a week away. So we'll definitely be jumping on soon and more active as this comes down. Really appreciate all the feedback and the interaction back and forth. I think it's something that we can kind of continue to all together grow girls basketball, man. So appreciate everybody. I guess until next time, man. Y'all be safe in this weather. Definitely gonna be some bad weather, either already coming through or coming through tonight in the south. So you guys be careful, and until next time.